This is the alternative source of investment. I'm going to go down and introduce everybody here. We're going to keep this very informal because I like to cut people off and keep things moving. Swati here, I didn't have a chance to go over your name, so I'm going to butcher the hell out of it right now so you don't get mad at me, okay? Swati Chaturvedi? Close enough? Okay. From PropelX, she's the co-founder and CEO of PropelX. It's an investment platform for deep technology. She's been a management consultant, an investment professional, and now an entrepreneur. Prior to starting PropelX, Swati co-founded the MIT Alumni Angel Investors Group. She led the group for several years and still an active member of the screening committee.
So I am the CEO of PropelX. We help deep technology startups raise financing online. So it's kind of a taken crowdfunding, but we deal only with accredited investors. And we deal only with deep technology startups. By deep technology, we mean companies that are founded on a scientific discovery or significant engineering innovation. So this is a growth from my days at the MIT Angels, which I founded specifically for the purpose of investing in deep tech startups, simply because companies that are in space, in materials, in life sciences, these companies find it really hard to raise funding, especially at the earlier stages. And that's where angels have to pitch in. So that's what we do. These companies are considered kind of harder to understand very often. And that's why we have a network of experts, 1,000+ experts, which answer investor questions. And so I'll let you all explore that, all the investors certainly, and certainly all the startups that are in the deep tech space. Glad to be here.
So Swati, you mentioned deep technology. I'm not going to pretend to be a tech geek. I'm a geek, but not a tech geek. Can you explain deep technology, what type of companies that you're looking at?
Sure, absolutely. So when we say deep technology, we mean it to imply companies that are founded on a scientific discovery. So a lot of the life sciences companies, for example, or significant engineering innovation. So for us, this translates into 6 main sectors. Life sciences is certainly about half our dollars funded and deal flow. That would include devices, diagnostics, therapeutics, or drug companies. We've done drug companies. Some of our flagship companies are device companies. So that's one, energy and green technologies, so whether it's batteries, supercapacitor technologies, recycling, all that kind of thing. So that's important. Information technology, of course. So data centers are changing. Hardware is changing, but also software is changing quite a bit as AI rises, and AI is being applied to all different sectors. So that's a very important area for us. Food and agricultural technologies, industrial technologies, and aerospace and transportation. So there's a huge increase in interest in space. We've done companies, or we've hosted companies in the sphere of space travel, propulsion technologies, jet fuel, drones, of course, all that kind of thing.
Okay.
So those are our key areas.
Okay, thank you. That explains it, because when I heard deep technology, I'm thinking like, AI type stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's work our way down. Eva?
And just go for it. Write down your plan, test your model, and go for it. Crowdfund, get equity, crowdfund traditionally, come pitch with it. Just go for it.
Just go, and don't use the word plan in front of Shelley.
I do have a
Model.
perspective to offer on this, only because we see what companies are successful on our platform versus not. I mean, we've funded over 50 companies at this point. So the companies that have been successful, actually they have pretty good materials, and they iterate. And I do want to point out that Kickstarter, went through this phase where initially it was just, I get my project on in a half hour and I run with it. But as it got more and more sophisticated and mature, at this point there are companies that run their business on Kickstarter, meaning they are consultants for guys who are trying to raise on Kickstarter, right? They consult on what your pitch materials should be. They consult on what your supply chain should look like when you go and manufacture in China. So things get more and more sophisticated, and the audience gets used to it. I feel like maybe our audience is definitely used to high-quality materials. So just that one note of caution, I definitely think you should go for it. Absolutely. But as you go, refine the plan, because that's kind of important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to kind of...
One point to make on the point that you made, Eva, on the doubles and singles. And I think that's where crowdfunding platforms really have an important role to play. So I agree that the venture model is a little bit broken because everyone's going after that one blockbuster. And so everyone's kind of chasing after those. The truth of the matter is that most businesses that go public are not venture-backed. So someone backed them, or they bootstrap. And you have an opportunity to participate in those. And the reason that angels at large can participate in those and make money is because they don't have to account for the overheads, the management fees, all the things. And most importantly, they are not competing against other venture firms to be in the top quartile of which you have to be making 25 plus IRR or more. So they are competing against the market, which is about 12% every year. If you can make more than that on a regular basis, then it makes sense for you to be in this asset class. And that's where I think these investment platforms are disrupting the investment scene.
Absolutely.
So I was wondering, what are some of the biggest mistakes you see entrepreneurs making when they're pursuing capital in your respective areas?
In my space, so like I said, we help deep technology companies raise financing. A lot of the exits will happen through M&As. So one of the things that we feel is that entrepreneurs don't start talking to large corporates soon enough. So we have created an industry council where we work very actively with Chevron, with Bosch, with ARM, Boston Scientific, Bio. I mean, the works. We have a lot of these large corporations signed up with us to get access to these entrepreneurs. And what we tell entrepreneurs is talk to them now, right? Because you need to know what your exit looks like. And no conversation is too soon to have. Sometimes entrepreneurs worry that, oh my gosh, they're going to steal my IP. Well, not really. They cannot steal everything, like all of the thinking that's gone behind it. And you need to be careful what you expose. But certainly, I think it's important to have those conversations with large corporates sooner rather than later.